This case is a monster, over 300 pages long, with a number of important aspects. In September 2014, the CEO of Myer Holdings stated to journalists and equity analysts that Myer expected its net profits that year to increase over the previous year. He didn't correct that statement at any time, and in fact, profits dropped substantially. The share price then dropped substantially too. TPT was the representative of a class of Myer shareholders who sued the company after losing money on their investments. This was the first use of the then new class action laws under the Corporations Act. Second, the basis of the action was that Myer Holdings had failed to comply with their continuous disclosure obligations under the Australian Stock Exchange listing rules. Justice Beach said that the rules required Myer to immediately notify the ASX once Myer became aware of any information concerning it that a reasonable person would expect to have a material effect on the price or value of shares. They did not, and therefore the continuous disclosure obligation was breached. However, this on its own is not enough for the plaintiffs to obtain damages. The plaintiffs have to show that the breach actually caused them harm. You can imagine how difficult that might be in a class action when there are dozens or maybe hundreds of plaintiffs. In class actions, then, there are various mechanisms to show causation between the failure to disclose and the losses by the shareholders. The court in this case accepted a methodology called market-based causation. Under this method, if the failure to disclose led to an artificially inflated share price, it would be assumed that this had led to losses for the shareholders. Justice Beach said, in respect of an individual claim, did the investor purchase shares when the share price was inflated? Did the investor continue to hold or sell those shares after the inflation was backed out of the share price by the corrective disclosure? If so, any loss may prima facie be recoverable under the market-based causation theory. In this case, however, Justice Beach found that the market had simply not believed the optimistic profit projections and had already factored in a much lower profit, so the share price had not actually been inflated. As a result, while there was a breach of the continuous disclosure rules, the plaintiffs did not receive an award.